Stop. Before you send that message, before you call them again, before you try one more time to explain yourself, to prove your worth, to make them realize what they are losing, I need you to hear this. What I am about to tell you is the one thing most people will not say to you right now. And it might be the one thing that can actually change everything. Here is the hard truth about human psychology that many people spend their entire lives refusing to accept. People rarely value what is always available. It does not matter how good you have been to someone. It does not matter how loyal you were, how much effort you gave, or how many times you showed up when they needed you. If you are always there, always reachable, always the one reaching out first, sooner or later, you will be taken for granted. This is not always a flaw in the other person. In many ways, it is a flaw built deep into human nature itself. Once you truly understand that, things begin to look very different. I have spent years studying patterns of power in human behavior, and one pattern appears again and again, whether you look at politics, business, friendships, or romantic relationships. I call it the law of absence. The person who is always present slowly loses their influence. The person who understands when to step away creates a strange kind of pull in the minds of others. Think about it for a moment. Think about every person you have ever strongly desired or deeply thought about, the ones who stayed in your mind longer than anyone else. Were they the ones who were constantly available? Or were they the ones you were never fully certain about? The ones who sometimes stepped back and left you wondering? This is not about playing games. I want to be clear about that. What I am describing is a deep psychological reality. When someone is always present in your life, the mind begins to file them under something guaranteed, and the guaranteed things in life often become invisible to us. Think about electricity in your home. It is there every day. You flip a switch and the lights turn on, but you do not wake up each morning amazed by it. It is simply expected. Because it is always there, you stop noticing it. The same thing often happens in relationships. Loyal and caring people slowly become invisible to the very individuals they care about the most. Not because they failed, but because they never stepped away. So what is the simple shift? It is this. You stop being constantly available, not out of anger, not as punishment, not as a clever trick where you secretly hope the other person will panic and run back. You stop being available because you finally redirect your energy. All the time, attention and emotional investment that you were pouring into someone who stopped giving the same effort back, you turn that energy inward. Now something interesting begins to happen. At first there is silence. And that silence can feel incredibly uncomfortable. Your first instinct will be to break it. You will want to send a message, check in, or explain yourself again. Resist that urge, because while you are sitting with that silence, something is also happening on the other side. The human mind struggles with unfinished situations. Psychologists call this an open loop. When someone who was always there suddenly disappears from the usual pattern, the brain begins searching for answers. Where did they go? Why are they quiet? What changed? Did I lose something important? That curiosity is the beginning of value being restored. And the strange thing is that you cannot create that reaction by talking more, explaining more, or trying harder. The only way it happens is through absence. But there is a deeper layer to this, and it is the part most people completely miss. The real transformation is not about whether they come back. It is about what happens to you while you are gone. When you stop obsessing over someone who does not truly value you, something shifts internally. When you stop replaying every conversation in your head, analyzing every message, wondering why they did or did not respond, you slowly begin to return to yourself. And in that process, you rediscover something the relationship may have been quietly eroding: your sense of self-worth. I have seen this happen many times. People who were once shrinking themselves in relationships suddenly begin to change. They were walking on eggshells, constantly adjusting their behavior, making themselves smaller just to maintain the connection. Then they step back, they go quiet, and within a few weeks, something changes. Their posture improves, their voice becomes steadier, the desperation fades from their expression. They stop over-explaining themselves. And ironically, that is often the moment when the person who once ignored them begins to feel something uncomfortable, the fear of losing them. You have to understand something about the human ego. Every person, no matter how confident they seem on the outside, carries a deep desire to feel important. People want to feel that they matter. They want to feel that their presence has influence. When you are always available to someone, you feed that need constantly. They begin to feel important not because they have earned it, but simply because you keep showing up. But the moment you stop showing up in the same way, their ego experiences uncertainty. Suddenly, they are no longer sure of their position in your life. And that uncertainty is powerful. Some people will react to this change with frustration. They might accuse you of becoming distant. They might say you have changed or become cold. Let them say it. Often what they really mean is that the dynamic has shifted and they do not like being on the other side of it. But this reaction also reveals important information. It shows you who that person truly is. Someone who genuinely values you but simply became comfortable might respond differently. They might reach out with curiosity. They might ask if something is wrong. They might reflect on their own behavior. And that reflection can create real change. But even that is not the most important part of the process. The most important part is what it forces you to face within yourself. Why were you willing to accept less than you deserved in the first place? Why were you so afraid of silence that you kept trying to keep the connection alive at any cost? These are difficult questions, but they matter. Often the answers go back to earlier emotional experiences. If someone grew up in an environment where love felt inconsistent, where attention had to be earned, where affection appeared and disappeared unpredictably, the nervous system learned something powerful. It learned that love feels like effort and pursuit. So as an adult, that person might unconsciously recreate similar dynamics. They end up being the one who gives more, tries harder, and invests deeper than the other person. They call it loyalty. They call it dedication. And part of it may truly be love. But another part of it is simply a pattern repeating itself. This is why reclaiming your value has very little to do with the other person. The real work happens when you begin to recognize your own patterns clearly enough to break them. Going quiet is not a trick, it is a discipline. It is a decision to stop outsourcing your sense of worth to someone else's opinion. It is choosing to stop letting another person's attention determine how valuable you feel. When you genuinely redirect your focus inward, you begin building something that no relationship can give you and no relationship can take away. An internal foundation. People can sense that shift in you. It changes how you carry yourself. It changes the tone of your voice and the quality of your presence. It changes what you tolerate and what you are willing to walk away from. And it changes the type of people and relationships that begin entering your life. So here is the simple shift, and I want you to understand it as restoration rather than manipulation. Go quiet for a while. Turn inward. Stop trying to perform your value for someone who has chosen not to see it. Not because you want them to chase you, though sometimes that may happen, but because your energy deserves to go somewhere where it grows instead of disappearing. Some people will come back because the silence forced them to wake up. Others will not return at all, and strangely enough, that may be the greatest gift they could give you, because their absence frees you to find people who recognize your value without requiring endless proof. Remember this, your value does not decrease just because someone failed to recognize it. The moment you truly believe that, not just as an idea but deep inside yourself, something changes forever. You will never again beg for a place at a table that was never meant for you. Instead, you will build your own table, and you will watch carefully who chooses to sit at it. When someone stops valuing you, Try this simple shift and see what unfolds. You tried it. You stepped back. You went quiet. And now something unexpected is happening. Either they returned or they did not. And regardless of the outcome, you feel something you did not expect. Not relief, not victory. Something deeper and more unsettling. Because the moment you stop chasing someone, you come face to face with yourself. And that is the real challenge. The real test is not whether they return. The real test is what you do with yourself once they are gone. Earlier, I explained that absence can restore value. That principle is real. But many people misunderstand it and treat it like a strategic move in a game. They go silent for a few days, check constantly to see if the other person reacted, and then rush back with the same behavior, the same emotional neediness, and the same patterns that caused the problem in the first place. Nothing changes. The cycle simply begins again. Months later, they find themselves asking the same painful questions. Why does this person not value me? Why am I always the one who cares more? The answer is uncomfortable but important. The pattern continues not because you have not found the right trick yet. It continues because the deeper thing attracting this dynamic has not changed. You keep meeting the same person in different forms. The faces are different, the names are different, the details of the relationship change, but the emotional experience remains almost exactly the same. And that is not bad luck. It is a signal, a very loud and very consistent signal coming from your own psychology, telling you that something deeper needs your attention, something inside you is asking to be understood. Let me tell you about one of the most fascinating and painful patterns in human psychology. The psychologist Sigmund Freud described something called the repetition compulsion. In simple terms, it means this: human beings are unconsciously driven to recreate the emotional conditions of their earliest relationships. Not because those experiences were pleasant, but because they are familiar. Familiarity is incredibly powerful for the nervous system. When something feels familiar, the body interprets it as safe. Even when the experience is painful, if it is a pain we recognize, the mind and body know how to navigate it. They have been there before. They understand the pattern. They have a map. But unfamiliar joy is different. Unfamiliar stability can feel strange. Love that arrives without conditions, without emotional drama, and without the constant threat of withdrawal can actually feel uncomfortable. It can feel suspicious, almost unreal. So what often happens is something surprising. You meet someone who is stable, someone consistent, someone who is genuinely available and genuinely interested in you. Instead of relaxing into that stability, something inside you begins to pull away. You start to question their intentions. You find small reasons to doubt them. You create distance where there was none. Their reliability begins to feel overwhelming instead of comforting. And then, almost like a compass needle returning to north, you find yourself drawn back towards someone who recreates that old emotional atmosphere, someone who makes you work for their attention, someone who keeps you slightly uncertain, someone who leaves you wondering where you stand. You call it chemistry, you call it passion. But what you are really feeling is recognition, the recognition of a wound that feels familiar. So the real shift, the deeper level beneath all of this, has nothing to do with what you do with the other person. It has everything to do with becoming completely honest with yourself about the story you carry about love. What do you truly believe you deserve? Not what you say you believe, not what you casually tell friends during a conversation. What you actually believe is revealed through the patterns of the people you choose and how long you stay when the relationship stops giving back. There is something important about self-worth that very few people speak about honestly. Self-worth is not just a feeling, it is a practice. It is a daily decision to act in alignment with the value you claim to have. Many intelligent and thoughtful people live with a painful gap. They understand their value intellectually, but their actions tell a different story. They know they deserve better treatment, yet they repeatedly accept less. Every time someone overrides their own inner knowing, a message is sent to their nervous system. The message is simple and damaging. My instincts do not matter. My boundaries are flexible. My worth is something other people get to determine. This leads to a deeper conversation about boundaries, not as a trendy phrase or a self-help cliché, but as a genuine mechanism of personal power. A boundary is not a wall designed to keep people out of your life. A boundary is a standard you hold for yourself about what you are willing and unwilling to experience. The critical difference is that real boundaries have consequences. A boundary without consequences is simply a preference. And preferences are crossed easily when someone senses that nothing will happen if they ignore them. The person who eventually stopped valuing you probably did not change overnight. The shift usually happens slowly. There was likely a moment early in the relationship when a small line was crossed. Maybe it was a canceled plan that was never acknowledged. Maybe it was a comment that felt disrespectful but was brushed aside. Maybe it was a pattern where they took more than they gave and you normalized it because you did not want to seem difficult. In each of those moments, a message was quietly communicated. The message was that there were no consequences. The space was open. Human beings naturally expand into the space they are given, so the behavior continued, not always with bad intentions, but simply following the unconscious logic most people operate by.